Hello and welcome to our first Creators Chat Q&A. We're going to start answering some of these questions after months of not answering them.
Just letting them accumulate.
Yeah, so this is number one. And the question for today is, they noticed that we write a lot of articles about our art and journey, and should a starting out artist write articles? And if so, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
This feels really relevant to me because this is one that I almost exactly a year ago was asking you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always impressed by the way you wrote articles, and I loved them, and I got loads out of them, and I always felt I looked up to people who were writing articles, and I wanted to be that cool and that inspired. And I was like, how do I begin? I think I was bobbing around in the swimming pool at the time, and I was just like, how do I write articles?
Right.
And you told me just start. And actually that was so very true. There's this kind of expectation when you are like writing articles, because you read other people's amazing articles and you think, oh my God, I don't know how they came up with this idea. I'd never come up with that. How do they know this? And you kind of assume that these people are like geniuses,
Right.
That they've got a million great ideas and they're just like divine in some way and you don't know how to begin.
Sure.
You told me just to start writing about my experiences, that's how you got started. And then one day you wrote an article that everybody loved, and suddenly it's like, oh, here's all these other articles I wrote.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that you can't guarantee it's going to resonate with people or that it's going to be successful. But if you just keep putting things out there, they don't have to be perfect, right. But just keep putting them out there and something might be interesting to some people.
Yeah.
I'll let you do some talking about it, because otherwise I'll just answer the whole question, do all of the talking, and then be like, peace out.
Yeah. I mean, we could. It'd be an interesting series. Yeah, you definitely can. And I obviously did. I started out by writing a lot of articles when I was starting out. And it served me very well. A lot of my popularity came from writing Don't Go to Art School
Yes.
and how I became an artist. Like, those became hugely popular and got me attention in spheres that I never thought I'd get attention from. So they can kind of expand your market, but at the same time, they're definitely not required. If you don't have anything you want to say, don't force it just because you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to read an article that's written just out of requirement. It's definitely a good idea. The days of blogs are sort of fading out, where only the top blogs are doing well and nobody else is reading anything because people are lazy. And frankly, like the stuff we're doing right now, podcasting is sort of the trendy thing right now. So honestly, if you're more comfortable talking to a camera, you might get more attention doing short videos or even long videos, interviewing people, stuff like that. There's a lot more potential there where people are aching to consume more video and audio content. And that's, I think, a good opportunity. I think if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would probably still write articles because I find written stuff very good, which is why I'm writing a book. But I would probably focus on like starting a podcast when I was actually starting out and just, talk about the journey, talk about what I'm going through, do the streaming thing. People do really well with streaming. And even though those might feel a little bit different than an article, if you treat them in the same way, that is to treat stuff, Tim Ferriss always mentions that his favorite sort of content that he creates is evergreen content. That is to say, it never goes out of style. If you're talking about like current events, that stuff is going to get, out of style really fast and no one's ever going to look at it. So he focuses all of his time and attention on creating content that a decade from now will still be getting searched for. And so I would encourage you to have that sort of approach for either articles or video content, whatever else, in that you want something that's going to last a long time. And so this is why some people that stream, for instance, I don't think get that sort of long-term attention. It's why they have to keep producing content. Because nothing about most of their streams is really that evergreen. It's not something that 5 years from now many people are going to look at. They'll look at a few highlights, but they're not producing that really, really focused, narrow content.
Yeah, that's true. And it is, like you say, it's like a body of work that grows alongside what you're doing. So I haven't written an article in like a good few months.
I haven't either.
But that's fine, because we've still got those articles which exist on their own and are still valid. it's kind of just a nice thing you can work on the side. I've never made a single penny from my articles. It's a thing you can do if you want to.
Sure.
If you think that writing articles is going to make you immediately rich, it's probably not a good reason for doing it.
Don't do that.
You've made money from writing articles, but yeah,
Little bit.
it's like, even with the success of your articles, it's a teeny fraction.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's almost nothing.
It has brought me some attention writing articles. It has brought some people to my doorstep that wouldn't have seen me otherwise. It just depends what you're really doing it for. It is certainly a valid thing, but if you want to get into it, just start writing about your experiences. And that's kind of all there is to it. It really is that easy, and just keep doing it. And then one day you might be surprised that suddenly people are reading them and being interested, and you're like, I've got no idea how that happened. That's what happened to me.
I would recommend, if you are going to write articles and content like that, to read a couple books on writing. There's a couple that I would recommend specifically for articles. There's The Elements of Style, which is super tiny little book, but goes over some very basic things about grammar and sentence structure and stuff like that. And then I'd also read On Writing Well, which is a book on writing nonfiction. And that one's highly recommended. I've read it through twice. It's very, very good. So listen to all the stuff he says in there. That's
Cool.
about all I have
That's
to
it from
say.
me.
Cool. We'll see you guys next time.